What's going on, everyone? So yeah, we got a Dreamcast guy video here today. This guy's funny with the Xbox stuff. So I got a lot to weigh in here. This might be like a 20-minute video. You never know, because there's definitely a lot to talk about here. So I only watched like the first minute, but then I realized that he was pretty much going to talk about the same thing I was really going to talk about, and that's pretty much what's going on with the MPDs, the sales. I was going to catch everybody up on that, but I see that he's adding that in. So I'm like, let me just see what his video has to do, with that. And looking over here, we see Xbox admits that PS5 fans are only people buying their games. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you're an Xbox fan, he strong arms y'all every video he does this. He knows that he watches, but his way of replying is to consistently do it because he knows that type of stuff is going to get him views. And it may not work for everyone, but there is an algorithm for that. That's for sure. He's talked about it before, and I know what he's talking about. I don't do that because that's just not how I feel. I'm not that type of individual. Um, but the funny thing is that you can't keep letting him get to you because I think only the Xbox base will particularly have a problem with Dreamcast guy to a certain extent because of that. And it's just funny stuff because, like I said, this stuff right here, he's going to keep doing this. And he knows that you're watching and he knows that it's getting to you. And he's being a little bit of a joke or two about it at the same time. So he's not dumb. He knows what he's doing. So let's get into this and let's see what he has to say. This is going to get interesting. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, y'all.
Hey there, gamers. DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about the death of Xbox, but in a slightly different fashion than we typically do on this channel, which is that today we're going to talk about some raw sales numbers, because they just posted a bunch of financial reports for June, and this stuff is very much...
The funny thing about him is I've never seen somebody talk about the death of Xbox so much as a content creator. Like, I've ran into across so many people. I think I've seen him say Xbox is dead more than anyone. It's becoming to me, it's like a comic and a comedy at this point. You don't have to take it serious. You know what I mean?
much the whole spread. It's how many controllers sold on every console, how many games sold on every console, and how many consoles sold, right? And what's interesting is that not only is Xbox doing bad, not only are they obviously the bottom of every chart, but it really paints a bleak image as to how dead Xbox already is. At this point, the only people in the world that are buying Xbox games...
So you guys, you see how I'm doing this? Not, well, so man, let's go Dreamcast, nah, don't do that. You don't have to do that. Though sometimes you can't help yourself, I guess, if you love Xbox so much. I get it. And I don't even get mad at people doing that. And you guys know how I am. Sometimes I may like roast somebody and the flames may come up. But that's just me being me. And at the end of the day, there's entertainment, there's being genuine too. And it's fine. You know what I mean? We're not taking away somebody's video games or saying unsubscribe or, any of those sorts of things to any service you're on. Like, no, I've never told anyone not to buy any console or any of that. I don't do that. I just roast corporations and, we do what we do.
Games are PlayStation people. Literally, if it wasn't for the PS5, I do think the Xbox would be dead already. But let me break it down, because I feel like the context that's very difficult to parse out sometimes is just how screwed.
So you see what he just did. He threw another shot at you again. He's doing this because all the videos you guys have made on him, this is his way of getting back at you. And he's going to keep going. He's going to keep making money while he's doing it. In his mind, he's outsmarting you. And you're on the loser platform. I'm going to tell you how he thinks. I promise you. And you guys can keep on representing a dead console, but I'm going to keep on making money on YouTube. I'm going to keep strong arming you and keep getting on in your feelings. I'm not going to reply to you. Just look at that. Look, he knows what he's doing. Guys, I'm telling you, man, it's funny to me because like I said, when you reach a higher aspect of life, sometimes you can take something like this and turn it into a comedy. You don't necessarily have to let it get to you like that. Just so I can help certain people out, because I know he gets to people and you don't like, because he's steady with this. So I'm kind of trying to be that equalizer and a little bit of clarity over here, guys, that there's a better way to look at this. And trust me, there's a reason why a lot of people watch him. It's not because he's always going to tell you the truth. There's different reasons. It's just funny to me.
Screwed is Xbox. They like to post cryptic statements like, oh, 10 million people played Starfield. Okay, did they play it for 30 seconds? Did they play it for 30 hours? Xbox always tries to be incredibly vague about how their games are doing. And now I think we realize that everything they're putting out...
Hey guys, let me tell you why. Okay, look. If I was leading a community, I will never stop being honest with them. What I mean by that is that I will just keep on showing my numbers. Hey guys, I'm sorry, man. You know, this is just the honest truth. At least I'm being honest with y'all. I'm not hiding anything from you. If you're in a relationship with someone, what if you found out your partner's hiding stuff from you? You know what I mean? You're not going to like that. You know what I mean? If someone is hiding something from you, it's never really good. It's just the truth in life for a lot of things. Why are you hiding things? Why don't you just be open and transparent? He's right about that. Though I know some people can grift on that. I know some people manipulate on top of that. But you know, if I'm saying it, I'm being as genuine as possible. I sincerely agree with that statement on all ends. Why not just give people that? Because when you do that type of stuff too, you cause a lot of confusion among your population and among the people. And people start thinking up stuff that's not real. People start fighting about stuff that's not real, right? All that stuff, right? Just about Game Pass girls and all that. All you have to do is share with people, right? The honest truth. And it is what it is, man. Face the truth. But that's not what happens. And it would just literally get rid of so much stuff, all the smoke and mirrors. And then the community could have more honest feedback. And if you want to argue and debate, we're going to argue and debate about the facts that we know right there that they showed us. Rather than sitting there trying to peer and try to dig in and look for a leak, like, why should you have to do all that? You just simply share it. I'm just saying, think about that. That's my thing. I don't like it.
If it wasn't on PlayStation, nobody would even play it. But let me talk. Hi, hope you're having a great day. And if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now I wanted to start with this because this just came out literally as I started filming this, which is that the CEO of Microsoft says that, oh, I feel so bad about laying off 15,000 employees. Oh, it weighs so heavily on me. You know, also, we are making completely crazy amounts of money. By any objective measure, we are thriving. So he's basically saying, yeah, we're just going to keep firing Xbox people because they're less profitable than any other part. Like, Microsoft makes literally trillions of dollars on Windows and Microsoft Excel and everything else. They're basically saying, we don't even care. We can just let Xbox rot on the vine, despite the fact that they've spent billions, hundreds of billions of dollars trying to build up the Xbox brand. They're just going to let it rot for no reason. And I do find it funny that a lot of the replies...
See, he did it again. But, okay, like, he could say things better. Sometimes I can too. I'm blunt. But to me, it doesn't... If you're being blunt, I don't care. You know what I mean? To me, I will take the harsh truth over the beautiful lie. Though I could see through it. But what I'm saying is when he says stuff like that, I'm looking to see, what do you really mean by that? In a lot of ways, they did kick it to the curve. And I've told people that because Nadella, in his mind, it doesn't make sense for him to focus on that. How did Microsoft become rich? It's not because of Xbox. Xbox is able to exist because Microsoft is rich. So in that sense, it doesn't make sense from a business standpoint to focus on Xbox like that and keep dumping all that money into it when it's not getting those type of returns as a platform standing on its own. It needs to go to PC, it needs to go to do that, you know what I mean? I understand why Nadella wouldn't do that. And I told people, but as a gamer, of course, you're not going to like the guy. You know what I mean? From a gaming perspective. But I respect him as a CEO. And I know what he's pushing. You know, it's pretty obvious.
Somebody are just being like, oh, okay, cool. So he just sucks. It's weighing heavily on him, and yet he definitely is a soulless corporate shell. Now here it is. Video game worldwide hardware estimates. Now, technically, these are usually about 95% accurate. Usually the numbers are a slight bit off just because sometimes...
Well, that's the thing. VG is now more accurate than they used to be because they used to do just pre-made estimates a lot and then fix it. But this comes from Matt Piscatella. This comes from Famitsu. And this comes from Christopher Dring. So, and then they give you the rest of the world combined with those three. You know what I mean? So just to explain it to you guys, that's exactly how it works. So if you see them change numbers, it's because when they got the NPDs from Matt Piscatella and Christopher Dring gave them the European numbers, and for me too, it used to be Dengeki and a couple other people too. But a lot of them were, you know, they went to do other things. They report that there. And they want to know how much you sold, not how much you shipped. So they're reporting sold to the customer, not shipped. And shipped is usually higher. Just let you go. But with the Switch, everything's selling out, so it doesn't really matter. So we can get an understanding of the way they work now compared to before. But obviously, you have to say this because you can't ever get the full truth. I think that's the most smartest way to say it. I would say the same thing. You don't know the full number. Nobody does.
You know, some people are buying stuff and it takes a bit to tally up some of the ones and zeros, stuff that ended up falling off a truck, that kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
Look at this. Like, this is kind of just wild. So this is the world bracket. Let's just talk about the world bracket because look, breaking it down by like here's North America, here's Europe, here's Japan. But here's what's really crucial in my opinion. Worldwide, Nintendo Switch 2 sold 5 million units the first month. I think that's now technically the fastest selling console of all time. I'll be honest, still blows my mind. With all the hate, all the backlash, all the high price tags on Nintendo Switch 2, clearly people did not mind showing up to that with cash in hand.
The reason why Dreamcast guy is because all the stuff that people do, I get what they're saying, but people are not going to care because to them it's not real gaming problems, and they're not dealing with that. Like 90-some% of the world. But when you go to the Xbox and PlayStation world, those real gaming problems are critical and they're crucial, and it's like 1,000 more problems. Whereas Nintendo is still giving people those epic, magical experiences that they want. We're here first and foremost. Number one priority: really good video games, really good development, no layoffs. You're still there all the way from the 80s to now, and you still are the same. And you know what I mean? It's always there at the highest peak, and they're never disappointing. They're purely a gaming company. You could see that. So the result is people saying that you give me those experiences, I'm going to keep on paying for them. I want to support you because I know and trust your product. You can't say that nowadays a lot. Everybody's changing. All these people that got these IPs, the original people are not there anymore. And, you know, it's just pretty obvious. You could be very honest, you know, a lot of these people, but they're not going to be honest. You know what I mean? And that's what I don't respect about them. All of you that grip against Nintendo, there's a lot of you which they're also not honest about the positive aspects. You sit on it and you hide it. And you're unbalanced about your point of view and about how you really feel and see things. It's always, I got to only show this angle and I can't be positive in any spectrum, no matter what happens. And then when you're wrong, you don't correct yourself either. Oh, yeah. They know that too, and they sit on it. Like I said, that's cowardly to me. I don't respect it. And like I said, the results show you that they're winning and that gaming is now boosted up like this. As a gamer, anybody should say, okay, gaming is now healthy and growing again. But you'll have some people that are trying to downplay that because their platform is not growing. And this is what I mean by like, you do realize that this is just you, right? This is not Nintendo. This is not PlayStation. This is not Xbox. This is not PC. This is exactly what type of character that you are. You're shady and you are a liar. He lies too. Just saying, I'm calling it out. I'm honest about whatever I talk about. Even if I do like Nintendo, you know what I mean? I still am honest and I will not lie for them. Because I will not be a liar for a company. They're not going to change me. But I know a lot of people that are fake because they want to represent a corporation. And they sit on things and lie about other platforms because they want to make another one look better. And that means that you're just a fake person. And you let the corporation turn you into a fake person instead of just being genuine with your audience and your people. And then they'll leave the real person and go back into the fake lie and cope all day. We don't do that over here. Just saying.
PlayStation 5 behind it with 900,000 sold. Pretty dang good when you just consider the fact that in a random June in 2025 with no major releases, the PS5 still sold almost 1 million units. The original Nintendo Switch selling 316,000 units worldwide. Still, even that is a pretty surprising number, but this is the part that I think everybody is very much focusing on.
That's what the world is saying. This is reality, you see? And I like Xbox. I've been with Xbox since day one. And I've told people, nobody cares. They don't. Only the people remaining on the platform do. And they have a right to. Because they stuck with them through the shit end and through everything. So if anybody should be getting treated well, this is what I thought. This is why I was mad at them. It should be the Xbox base. Not PC gamers. Valve did their job. That's why I understand some Xbox players, if you're mad at Microsoft like crap gamer, even though I know we make fun of them, but I get it. Because like I said, I think, don't y'all feel the same way? If you suffered with somebody for that long, just like in a relationship, and you know what I mean? And then they turn around and say, well, you got to move to PC now or this and that. It's like, you know, I would think that you would want to reward me the most, be honest with me the most, not hide anything from me and just do it. It's not going to hurt you. You're still freaking rich. You ain't losing anything. So what? You already dealt with enough reputation damage. Why not just release everything and say, you guys at least deserve this? Tell me I'm wrong. This is what I mean. Like, people getting mad over stuff like this is like, it's just the truth though. And we're telling I don't even want to talk to y'all like, but I'm just saying, some of these people, man, y'all just like, I'm telling you your dumbass the truth and making you aware. They're the ones that are shitting on you. I'm not shitting on you. I never attacked you. I attacked them. They're the ones that are doing that terrible anti-consumer behavior. And that's why I'm like, yeah, that's where I agree with certain people who are like, yeah, you're just being a bootlicker at that point. Because it's like, yeah, you are, because we're just telling the truth. We're not coming to hurt your gaming experience. I can't do that. They're the ones that are doing that. So why are you mad at me? And that's just something that blows my mind.
150,000 Xboxes sold worldwide in the month of June. I truly feel like it cannot be overstated how bad this is. I mean,
it is bad.
You're literally talking about a last-gen device, a last-gen handheld that came out in 2017, sold more than you did. Like, what in the world are we even doing here? Now, there has been a lot of talks about the fact that currently Xbox...
Let me tell you something. As much as the Xbox base is not going to like it either, he's right. Because they're selling dumpster fire sales in their prime years. Guys, it's prime time right now for Xbox and PlayStation. You know, in sports, it's prime. He's in his prime. When you're in your 4/5, that's when you're in your prime time. You're supposed to be at your peak. And then you drop off in your twilight years, the last like 7th year or something like that. PlayStation is still doing prime stuff. You know what I mean? And Nintendo's going to start off prime and be prime down there to the end. They're just like that, though. They're the only ones that, like I said, realistically, I mean, I think that's really the only console honestly left. I think everything else is pretty much just a, I mean, with Sony now, it's like a hybrid PC timed exclusive box. That's the way I kind of see it at the moment. And an Xbox has to go to wherever they can survive. It's just reality. It's looking at the real reality of the game, not being a fanboy and coping and making up all this stuff and thinking that they're doing it. It's like, guys are not doing that good. We know this. Now, some things cool like Game Pass and all that, yes, but in order for Microsoft, in order for me to say they're doing better than ever, this is why I realized, whoa, what is wrong with you? They just now started doing some little bit of improvements after giving you 10 years of shit. You need 5 years of that. What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you saying they're better than ever already? What the hell is wrong with you? I see some people saying that. How? You would have to be at the prime outselling everybody better than ever. They were beating Sony at one point in the 360 era. You're telling me they're better than the 360 era? You out of your damn mind. They ain't at no 50-something million sales right now trying to reach 90 million sales, having Halo selling 10 million copies, 97 meta. They were dropping 96, 95 meta games in the 360 era. Competing realistically, I don't care about all this extra profit from microtransactions. That's hollow. This is why gaming soul is damaged, because a lot of people are thinking this record profit is good, but it's really just gambling free-to-play microtransactions. It's garbage. They're not using that money to support real developers. They're using it to support trash. They're not supporting real good video games. It's all dumped into memes and gestures. They turned it into a puppet show. You guys want some truth? I'm going to put it right here on his video. He's earthy, I'm fiery. Let's get it going. You see what I'm saying? Even though I see the growth that's happening with PlayStation, but the growth that I hate is this stuff that I see from these free-to-play games. I would have rather see that free-to-play game die and all these other games get developed and supported the whole time. At least I know people are supporting real video games and not sitting around wasting, just dumping into microtransactions, telling these people, now we have a $100 billion meme jest industry. That's what they're dumping into gaming. You see what I mean? It's terrible. And then they get addicted to it and they can't get off it. And they don't want to look at anything else. Man, it's not what I wanted for gaming. If you're a gamer from the 90s, you can't tell me that shit is not terrible. I mean, this is still cool, and that's one thing I like about the Nintendo. I'm still supporting game. I'm not going in there microtransaction dumping. I hate it, guys. It's the worst thing in gaming ever, like by a mile. And even though Xbox is last place, but guess what? This is a platform where it's supported the most with PC. Microtransactions is least supported on the Nintendo platform because their games are based around start to finish. So if we want to talk about disappointments to Dreamcast Guy, we need to talk about what's also disappointing on these two platforms before Nintendo showed up that I don't like. And I've said this before, it's the microtransaction, record profit, idle vampiring dumping. And then you're thinking that gaming is healthy because of that. It's destroying it. And it's making it a gambling machine. You're feeding the gambling machine, and you're not getting good video games because of that. And people are not supporting them either because they're too busy in the gambling world, in the video game industry. It's not supposed to be a gambling slot machine. This should just tell you something. They're coming in hijacking and taking all your money. This isn't video gaming. Oh, that stuff is terrible. It needs to get out. But how are we going to deal with that beast that's been so fed? It's a problem. So this is going to be a long video.
Is making a big effort to basically just cut off parts of the world that aren't worth their investment. You can see here, like specifically, even in Europe and stuff, Europe and Japan, they're just selling lower and lower numbers. There has been a bunch of public leaks that basically they're trying to cut off those supply lines. It costs a lot of money to not just ship consoles to other countries, but then make deals. All right, we need it to be in, the Japanese equivalent to Best Buy. They sign all these contracts, and clearly they're getting zero money back. So basically, it sounds like at this point, I think Xbox realizes that even having the console on store shelves, you're just geysering cash. You're getting nothing back for it, especially because at this point,
well, that's why they wanted to jack up the prices. Like I said before, the way that Nadella sees it, it is a dead market. He said it yesterday. There's no living franchise. All the franchises are dead. So to me, it doesn't make any sense. Might as well just put it everywhere. And he doesn't have any love for exclusives. Well, he has no franchises. Of course he's going to say that. You know what a franchise is? You see what I mean? A dynasty? You see what I mean? A trinity? Like, man, you're still upholding it. Look at my face. My face is still up there. You know what I mean? It's dominating. Yeah, that hurts their ego. That's what makes people want to be with you. You know what I mean? Those type of things. So just because yours is not successful, don't try to beat somebody else's down because their franchises are still alive and they're doing very well. That's what I mean by the dishonest behavior. I don't respect it.
Only place you really see people talking about Xbox games or buying Xbox games is on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch 2. Christopher Dring, the game business, I've talked about this guy in the past. He's a guy who I feel like he leaks stuff that is all being talked about behind the scenes. He's a very old school game journalist. Chris Dring basically says that
he knows what he's doing.
This stuff is about to come out in the coming weeks. We know that we're exactly, 3.5 weeks from Gamescom. Gamescom is happening over in Germany. And when it happens there, Xbox shows up. Xbox has already confirmed they're doing a big showcase. I do think there's a good chance they're going to just shadow drop Starfield. I think they're going to release Starfield on PS5. If I'm being brutally honest, I don't think it's going to sell at all. I think Starfield is just a colossal expense.
No, I'm not going to agree with that. I think that they could sell a couple million. I'm going to try to get everything right and then release it, not in the state that they had at launch, obviously, because they have a DLC out and all that. No. Starfield can do fine on PlayStation. I don't know about that, man. That's Bethesda, dude. They can at least sell a couple million. I think he's being a little bit dishonest.
Expensive flop. I mean, not only is it the lowest rated Bethesda game, modders gave up on Starfield. Everybody gave up on Starfield. And I say that as a person that not only beat it, I beat that absolutely garbage game twice. Although, the new game plus is funny. So
it's not garbage, but it's disappointing.
I kind of beat it 1.5 times. I even played the DLC. But my point is the fact that this is the kind of stuff that makes me think that Xbox realizes that if you're going to use your prime real estate, your time to come out on stage and talk about the future of Xbox, and it's your time to sort of hype up the competitor in the classical sense, I think it shows just how bleak things have gotten. Now, I've seen a lot of people try to say that somehow Xbox is doing better than we think. I've seen a lot of screenshots. I don't even want to put them in this video. I've seen a lot of Xbox YouTubers claiming that nobody buys PlayStation 5 games. I don't know why. One of the things I've seen a lot of people claim that Death Stranding 2 failed when it's the number.
Mario Kart World would actually probably be number one and be right there. This is a $39.99 game, but good job. You know what I mean? Nintendo doesn't give digital sales. They also don't give out the bundle numbers. Don't count either. You know how many Mario Kart World bundles sold? You know how many digital copies of Mario Kart World sold? Dude, it would have smoked past all of them. But Nintendo doesn't give out digital numbers. That's why there's a star right there. And if you go down, it tells you digital sales on Nintendo platforms not included. They don't include that. The funny company, they don't give it. You got to wait for them to give it to you. It's Nintendo, so we all know how Nintendo is.
Two selling game worldwide. I don't really understand how you could possibly say that Death Stranding 2 failed, but weird times. June's number 2 and number 4 are bestsellers on Xbox, but don't even make the top 20 overall. If this isn't a sign of how bad sales are on Xbox, I don't know what is. US is Xbox.
Yeah, but dude, it's obvious. We've known this since they put Game Pass on. There's not anything new. Like, if something says number 1 on Xbox, it could probably be lower sales than what's number 10 on PlayStation. And Nintendo, yeah. I mean, that's why you can't say that, oh, this is number 1. That doesn't mean that. It could probably have sold 10,000 copies. You know what I mean? That's what that means. This stuff also is, it's like you have to see the actual numbers. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a lot of sales. A lot of people get misled with that.
Strongest territory, and these are the US sales. So it just seems like there has been this bigger and bigger push for the idea that Xbox, not only can they not be tied to a single platform, I am more and more thinking that Xbox is probably going to discontinue Game Pass. At this point, Game Pass, it's for them. I'm going to make this clear.
I may have to agree with him on that. I think in the future that may be a possibility. I remember I told y'all, you never know with them. You can't trust them. I'm not against that idea, but I'm not saying that's going to be happening anytime soon. But I think if they don't get what they want, oh yeah, they can end up just dumping it off. Be aware of that. I agree with him on that, but just not right now, though, no.
Clear, for Microsoft, they're probably seeing it as a massive waste of money. A lot of companies are very much all in on this idea of paying a subscription fee instead of ever actually owning your content, right?
And he's talking about actually seeing how much money you would lose by not selling the game. That's why they had to go third party, because at that point, the end of the day, I was like, this is not going to work. It doesn't work. This is the only way. I mean, this is not sustainable on its own. And then we got to put this on PC. We got to put this on mobile. We got to try to make everything next. We got to branch out so much to survive. Because that's called I got to survive or I'm done. Some way to try to look profitable. Everything you could possibly happen. They've scraped everything you could. They've tried everything that could possibly happen. Asked for help for every single platform that you could possibly ask to grab on PC. Seen everything. They've tried everything. You see what I mean? They're trying to survive. That's not doing your best ever. That's trying to hold on. They're drowning. I like to give people reality. I just don't understand why I would want to have people think that Xbox is doing better than it's ever. And that to me is crazy, Cope. No way, man. We got to see what they're going to be doing in the next like 4 straight years, 5 straight years. They have to do positive. Then you can say, now you're doing better. That's what it takes. Not this one little spree they had for 6, 7 months. Nintendo been doing that for 45 straight years nonstop. Winning. You come in for a half of a year and then do all that stupid stuff and run it. You see what I mean? How's that winning? They can't even get you an amazing progress for a year straight without stepping on landmines and rakes and shooting themselves in the face. And you say that's the best ever. Some of these people. Guys, I'm not going to be an asshole about it. That's why I'm just saying it the way I'm saying it. But do you seriously believe that? No. That means in every category possible, I'm doing my best ever. Not those cells in your prime years. Like, come and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. This is one to start off a certain way, but then we had to get real in here. Because I feel like some things just won't be said from his end, so I'm doing it. All right, y'all. Peace out. Keep it real. Like I said, Xbox community, you know I'm going to still keep doing content. I'm still going to keep doing PlayStation content if that's well. Nintendo content's coming. PC content, it doesn't matter. That's what we do over here. And whoever needs to be criticized will be criticized. And that's who needs to improve the most in gaming. All right? Later, y'all.